First set, we are at a tie match at the top. Double gen pop to avoid the deadlock. They do go down. There is a haste status effect. They do have to be careful here. The hatch is going to spawn momentarily. Dead Hard could get them the distance to get it too. Shot.
Really smart play on the ace. Oh my god, getting shot through the window.
No longer have distortion, and they are going to teleport here. I think they get there in time. Yes!
Oh, the grab. Yes! That is disappointing. This is be a 4-man out because.
Yeah, but they will be able to block this. Yo, getting caught on that. Ace coming with the body block. Oh, they were here.
All right, and we are back for the final round of Qualifier number 4. We got ourselves Ruby Wolves versus Cynic. And this is for all the marbles. The winner here today will receive an invitation to Season 6 of Champions of the Fog. The loser might still receive an invite, but we'll have to wait and see. Also, I don't know if it's just something I just noticed on this skin specifically, but I just realized that Blight has 6 fingers on it. That being said, they're using those fingers well as they get a very quick hit here on the Kate and are looking for a very early down into this corrupt intervention we saw there earlier. Kate, though, trying not to go down. A little bit of mind game there. Kate not wanting to give that vault up just yet. Potentially a light there and a little bit of a hug tech to try and gain some distance, though unable to get the dash there after on the Kate. And looks like Kate will be going to the window here. Wondering if maybe it would have been just right for the Blight to break early on, but they will get a hit there at the window very early on, and so a quick down as well incoming. Kate gonna be moving that much closer to being sent back to the campfire via the entity. And we are gonna see the first hook here, seeing if maybe there might be any hook perks as well. Though it will appear that there is in fact no Scourge Hook Pain Resonance on that gen at the very least, as Blight will start zooming around trying to find a generator to harass some survivors off, finding some scratch marks from the ace, and a very quick unhook there on the Kate. Keep in mind with the S tiers, deliverance is available to these survivors, so that first unhook, very, very important to say the least. Survivors, though, going to be trying to play main building, and looks like the Blight wanting to go for the tunnel on the Kate will do just that. Pallet in the back, still up. We will see it thrown down, giving that survivor a little bit of distance. And Kate going to be moving into the garage, where you also see Nancy, who will take a hit at the pallet, meaning that this body block is unable to take place, as now Kate will still be the target of the Blight, but a little bit of a misplay there, as Kate is still at the pallet here, moving back into the gas station once again. However, not many resources, if any, here, and looks like Kate is going to be following the Nancy. We might actually see 2 survivors going down here, in fact, as we will see Nancy go down as well. That is huge for Cynic's Blight, a double down, 1 gen completed, and the Kate going to be progressing to second stage, granted that the Blight is able to get them to a hook in time, and it looks like they will be opening up the garage to do just that. Once again, no real idea as far as perks are concerned, though keen-eyed viewers and some smart survivors may have noticed the existence of a... Ooh, was that an unbreakable? It looked like it may have been. That Nancy getting out of dodge. But you keen-eyed survivors may have noticed there a brutal strength, making so that those gens and the palace will break that much quicker. However, we do see the unhook on the Kate once again. Looks like Blight going to be going for the down. going to be taking away all that progression on that heal, as they will apply that mending status effect. Ace, not wanting to go for the body block, instead will drop off, and Kate going down. Unless they have a decisive strike, that will be Kate sent back to the campfire via the entity at only 2 gens completed. Honestly, really well played here by the Blight, and we do see another gen progress a little bit there from a 10% skill check miss, and looks like the Blight now on the Ace, and will get a hit there. I do see an item in his hand, though I'm not sure if that's a flashlight or a flashbang, in fact. And we will see a pop goes the weasel incoming on that gen, as well as it being highlighted in yellow, potentially a Call of Brine or a eruption. I'm sure we'll find out shortly, as it is in fact a Call of Brine, as Ace will go down and no 10% regression thereafter. Light playing very well here. The question is, what other gens are these survivors working on, as Blight will move over into main building to check on just that. Though actually, going back to the gen they kicked earlier, it looks like a survivor is nearby, but no sign of where they might have gone. In fact, going back towards main building, and looks like a skill check miss off in the distance. Light now knows where all the survivors are, meaning that they know that they are going to need to drop off the gens soon in order to get that unhook on the Ace. And is that another skill check miss, or was that a vault potentially? Hard to say, but it does look like the Nancy going for the unhook on the Ace. Light trying to get there in time, but unable to get the bounce on the trees. And looks like it's both the Ace and the Nancy. A little bit of mind game on the Ace right there. Unfortunately, unable to get the grab, as Ace will zip off into the distance with a bit of life, it looked like. And an amazing insta-break there by the Blight, as Ace trying to get a little bit of distance, but not enough, as they will slide off of the birch tree. Unfortunate for the Blight, to say the least, and Ace will get a bit of distance moving over to the next tile, though. Looks like they will try and go for a quick flick here, but unable to get the down, as the third generator is completed. I'm surprised they did not go over to that gen earlier, as we did see those skill check misses before, but no sign of survivors on the main building gen. Looks like we will see another application of Call of Brine here, and another example of that Brutal Strength coming in handy. And looks like we got the Nia here, who is in fact healed. Looks like maybe a dropped medkit, but it will not be enough, as Nia will take the hit around the rock, and moving back into the tile that did not get any, if at all, any distance whatsoever, as they will take the stun there, and Blight with the break with Brutal Strength, and an immediate rush for the down, and there it is. Looks like Nia will get picked up here, as the 4th gen is completed. These survivors not going down without a fight. And with that being said, we have yet to see a deliverance play. Very possible that the first survivor, Kate, who was hooked, may have had that in hand, or it could be that Nia is the one who has it instead. We'll have to wait and see, as Nancy also has yet to be hooked. With that being said, Blight looking around for these survivors, unable to find them at all. Nia unhooked off in the distance, meaning that there are 2 survivors over there, but we do see scratch marks over by Shaq. Blight sees them too, trying to find where they are, and that's the Nancy down on the ground. I guess now's the time to see if they have the deliverance in hand, or if it went the way of the dodo very early in this match. Imagine Blight going back to the unhook earlier, as we imagined both Ace and Nia there with the heal. And sure enough, we do see scratch marks in the distance, and a survivor skulking around trying to avoid the ire of the Blight, and they will take the hit. Blight doing an amazing job navigating that tile, and sure enough, there's the deliverance on the Nancy after all, trying to reclaim a little bit of pressure here. The question is whether or not they'll be able to do so in time. Nia, though, with the pallet drop, and looks like they are going to go down to the Blight once again. Nia's will be going up on the hook for the 2nd time, unless there is a decisive strike, but given the heals that we saw earlier, very unlikely to be the case. And this will move Nia that much closer to being sent back to the campfire via the entity. And now Blight trying to see where these survivors might be, and finding the Nancy over here in the corner behind the rock. Really well played there, showing some really keen game sense, as the Blight now wanting to find where the ace might be to ensure that they do not complete this last generator. However, no sign of the survivors, nor any work on that gen. I imagine Blight will make their way into the main building to see if they can get a pop goes the weasel, and sure enough, it has some decent progression, so a pop Qualifier here will move it down to all but nothing, I would imagine, by the time that the ace or another survivor is able to return. Still no sign of the ace though, and looks like the Nancy trying to crawl that much closer to the hook, but Blight coming back in, and we will see the pickup here. Ace coming in though with the life, and Blight hearing that just a little bit too late, as we will see the unhook there on the Nia. Blight trying to find where they might have gone, but Ace doing a great job of evading these blighted rushes as they will make their way towards the unhook, but not able to get there in time. They will drop that attempt, as Nancy looks like they will have a little bit of time left on the hook, about 30 seconds until they move to death and sent back to the campfire via the entity. Ace, though, taking an injury means that any attempt at an unhook here will be very dangerous. However, Ace will successfully get that blind, but will not be able to get the vault before the Blight downs them. And this will be Ace put onto second stage. Looks like every survivor at this point in time is primed and ready to be sent back to the campfire via the entity and sacrificed at the hook. Meaning that Blight it will be happy to find any survivor here whatsoever, though no sign of where they may have gone after the unhook. And imagine further into the car pile over here on this side of the map, though we'll have to wait and see, as Blight really wants to ensure that these survivors do not evade them and get a free heal. But no sign of them. Blight will be moving towards the main building, seeing if any survivors are on this generator, but it looks like it is as dead as a doornail, as Blight will make their way back towards the other side of the map. And looks like we do have a healthy... No, that's an injured Nia. Nia going in for the unhook. Blight going for the hit, but Ace with the body block, very clean at that. And looks like we will see Nia go down at the pallet. Maybe being a little bit too greedy there, or potentially Blight's ping just in their favor. And that'll be Nia out of the game with only 2 survivors left in this match. It's very unlikely that we're going to see this last generator completed, let alone a survivor escaping via the exit gates. However, there is always the possibility that they might see a survivor via the hatch, especially as these survivors are primed and ready on second hook each, meaning that the Blight will have to rush over towards the hatch. So if the survivors play this well and play it smart, they might just be able to pull off an escape in the end. With that being said, we do see a little bit of progress here on the gen, but between Pop Goes Weasel and Qualifier, that will render it pretty much null and void. The Blight now has to think about what survivor might be around here and has been hiding out. We did see a crow come back here earlier, though it seems that there is no survivor there at least any longer, though. Correction, the built-in Iron Will from Ace coming into effect, as we will see the down there, and there's only one hook here that the Blight can utilize. And for that reason, Blight is going to go towards it and try and sprint on over to the hatch as quickly as they possibly can. The question is whether or not they're going to be able to do anything, and looks like they will get here in time. No sign of the Nancy, and there is the hatch closed. I will point out that exit gates are a little bit decent for these survivors, not really able to get much of a line of sight on both. However, we do see the red light and scratch marks of the Nancy over here. Blight think they went into the main building. Does not appear to be the case, so they lose a little bit of distance, but now EGC will tick on down for the next 2 minutes. We'll have to see if the Nancy is able to hold off until then, but there is no way of escaping. So a little bit of a remaining 1v1 for the next couple of minutes, and looks like Blight will slide there on the red card. Nancy trying to find their way away from the Blight, and a bit of a HUD tech incoming, and Nancy will go down. Really clean flick there by the Blight, and that there will be the 4K at 4 gens completed for Cynic against Ruby Wolves Survivor Team. With that being said, we are going to be flipping sides here in just one moment. This time we will be seeing Ruby Wolves Blight versus Cynic Survivor Team. We'll have to wait and see to see if they can get a 4K before 4 gens are completed. But with that being said, we are going to go on a quick break. Before we do, though, we do want to remind everyone here today that you, yes, you, the viewers, are our sponsors. So the ads that you watch, all the bits that I tip, all the subs they buy, and of course, all the Rogue Energy buy using the code COTF goes to supporting Champs of the Fog and our prize pools for Group A and Group B. With that being said, we'll be back in just a bit. All right, and we are back for the final trial of qualifier number 4, Ruby Wolves versus Cynic, and we are going to be seeing a Ruby Wolves Blight versus Cynic Survivor team, and they're going to need to get a 4K at 4 gens to tie, or a 4K at less than 4 gens in order to claim victory. Only time will tell whether or not they are up to the task, but they will find, just when I saw a survivor there, but it's very possible that Zephyr the Blight did not, and looks like they're still out on the prowl. The spawn locations on Gas 7 are pretty much the most consistent out of any of the maps in Dead by Daylight, but we will see a bit of a swing and a miss there on the Blighted Rushes, finding the Nancy around the car pile, and looks like they will change targets here, but using all 5 of those tokens means that they're going to have to just walk their way menacingly towards this Nancy, who will go for that pal stun, but will not be able to get it successfully. There's the vault, no life, but no hit either from the Blight, and Blight gonna go with an insta break to try and box them out and reduce resources bit by bit. Nancy, though, getting a little bit turned around here. Blight trying to get the hit and will not be able to once again. This Nancy on point with these vaults as they do move into the main building. And now Blight will have to get this hit quickly, as they will, in fact, do. Nancy going to the garage, potentially trying to get a little bit of distance here, as they will get the stun. But the question is whether or not it will return to Blight, and it will not, as we do see a brutal strength coming in for some immense amounts of value. However, first gen popping off here for Cynic, and Blight will make their way to get the first hook of this match. Scratch marks over there on the hill still, directing the Blight to where the next survivor might be. But Blight more interested in seeing what gens these survivors might be on, and they do not find any progression here, as we will see the unhook on the Nancy, however unable to get back in time for the hit on the unhooker or the unhookee, as they will move back into the main building. Nancy, though, going for the vault, and looks like there might be a little bit of lucky break, and Blight will win that 50-50, as they will get the read down here on the Nancy, going for a very early tunnel out. Question is whether or not the other 2 survivors are on gens as of this moment in time. If so, they are in a very, very strong position and primed to claim victory in round 3. However, Blight, not wanting to go down without a fight, will get that insta break there and will apply a Pop Goes the Weasel. However, there is also another perk in play, as it will be highlighted in yellow. Well, that is a Call of Brine or Eruption yet to be seen. However, this survivor trying to get this unhook will be interrupted, and no sign of them, as they will move away from the unhook, potentially waiting for another survivor to come in to assist. Keep in mind, we do see a Call of Brine noise notification off there in the distance, and looks like we are going to see a potential unhook there, interrupting from the Yui. That will be a down, and a potential deliverance trade, I think, though Blight, undeterred, will go for the tunnel out, however, missing their chance at getting a hit there, and Yui going back up very quickly, potentially a botany knowledge, increasing that time, but Nancy going back down once again without a decisive strike. That there will be the first survivor sent back to the campfire via the entity, and as of right now, only the Quinton are we aware of being on gens over there on the Call of Brine gen in the distance. The question is whether or not they'll be able to get it finished in time before the Blight is able to get there, and they will indeed. However, Blight rushing over towards the main building, seeing if there's any progress over here. And sure enough, there is, as the Claudette will vault the window, trying to gain a little bit of distance. In addition, they'll drop that pallet there, trying to gain a little bit more time before the Blight is able to reach them. They'll do just that, as Blight trying to make a play here for the hit, but unable to do so effectively. However, they will get this pallet out of the way, which will be quite a boon for them later down the line, as the Claudette will once again vault this pallet and gaining a lot of distance, though no more resources here in the main building. These fighters need to be very careful, especially as this gen has yet to be completed. But though, going back into main, this time into the garage, door is open, meaning that they do have L out, but I don't think it will be enough, as we will see Claudette going down on the ground, and this here will be their first hook of this match, and fourth hook here for the Blight. At this point in time, the win condition is within reach for the Blight and Ruby Wolves. They need to stop these survivors from completing just 2 more generators. And there's the down on the Yui. If in the instance the Quinton is on their generator and just going to be cranking out, that will secure the tie condition here for Cynic. However, if they're able to get these last 2 gens, they'll walk away victorious in round number 3, securing them a invitation to Season 6 of Champions of the Fog. And with that being said, there is the tie condition met. It now comes down to this. We do see the Claudette here, and it looks like the Blight will go for the slug play. However, there is a pallet here that the Claudette can use to their advantage. However, Brutal Strength going to make things a little bit difficult as they will get downed. Keep in mind, we have yet to see whether or not they have a decisive strike in hand, and it looks like no decisive strike. All that is left up is the Quinton at this point in time. And we'll see if the Yui has an Unbreakable in hand, but does not look to be the case. Very likely the Claudette with the Deliverance also has the Unbreakable, and we now see both survivors up on hooks, which leaves the Quinton by their lonesome to go for not only the unhook, but also these last generators. Light having to be a bit cautious here as they will make their way over to this generator, check its progress, and I believe all 3 gens are all but dead, making it look that much more likely that we are going to see a tie match. What that'll mean for the invitations will be yet to be seen, will be fully dependent on the challenge tiebreaker algorithm. We do see that Firecracker there trying to get a blind on the Blight, unable to do so successfully. The Quinton evading the Blight just a little bit. Though, will they be able to last long enough until the survivor is able to suicide out on second stage? We'll have to wait and see. Quinton taking it though, and looks like Blight will get that Blighted Rush to get the down, but Quinton just being wiggly enough in order to evade the hit, and we will see them moving to second stage, but I don't think it will be soon enough, as Quinton will in fact going down, and that there will be the end of this match, as Quinton will be put into basement for the first and final time, and that there will be a tie match between Cynic and Ruby Wolves. Based on the tiebreaker algorithm, it is very likely that both Cynic and Ruby Wolves will get the first and second place spots for this qualifier, giving them both invitations. However, we'll have to wait and see till after the remaining matches have finished. So that being said, we might not find out here on stream. We'll have to wait just a little bit, though I'm sure these teams will be informed here in just a short while. That being said, nonetheless, GG, well played by both teams, and congratulations to those of you who will get invites today in qualifier number 4. That being said, guys, we have more qualifiers next week, not to mention an exhibition match on Friday at 4 p.m. between Eternal and Petroleum. So let's make sure to stop on by and say hi at 4 p.m. for that. Otherwise, we'll be back here again 12 p.m. CST for qualifier number 5 on Saturday. That being said, guys, we are going to end the stream there. Thank you all for joining us today. I, of course, am your owner and commissioner, Giltspire, and your host today. I'm an educational streamer, though I've been playing a whole lot of Final Fantasy XIV. So if you are a fan of that, I'll be live again tomorrow at 7 p.m. CST. Otherwise, we'll see y'all next time. On that note, guys, we'll see you then. Bye-bye!